Welcome back to another episode of The Officer Tatum Show. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is on fire. Donald J. Trump, is picking people like the NFL draft. I would say Donald Trump's picks ain't even like the NFL draft. At least you know who's going number one in the draft. You're like, all right, that guy's been doing well. He's going number one. Donald Trump picked Matt Gaetz today, and I was shocked. The pick for Pete shocked me because obviously his current job is Fox News, but he obviously served in the military, everything. Matt Gaetz shocked me. However, I love Matt Gaetz. I think Matt Gaetz is brilliant. Matt Gaetz is probably one of my favorites. I met him in person. The dude is cool, man. I could have an old fashioned with Matt Gaetz, and so I like Matt Gaetz. I like the pick. It shocked me though, because I didn't know or have on my radar on my bingo card that Donald Trump will pick Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Now, Attorney General, in my personal opinion, is Donald Trump's biggest pick. That's the greatest pick to ever be picked this time around. Simply because we needed an Attorney General that's going to do their mother freaking job. The problem is that we had Jeff Sessions last time. These career politicians ain't about nothing. These career politicians ain't about Nathan. And so picking Matt Gaetz was a shocker, but I think that Donald Trump is on to something. Because I felt this way about J.D. Vance. And when he picked J.D. Vance, I said, Trump, what you doing? Trump, you picked a guy that called you Hitler. And they said all these disparaging things about you in the past. How could you trust a person like that? J.D. Vance ended up being a rock star. Right now, if J.D. Vance, in the next election, I'm saying right now for the next election, if J.D. Vance runs for president, he got my vote. Somebody would have to beat out J.D. Vance right now. He's smart. He's bold. He's courageous. He's American. He served in the military. J.D. Vance is the man. Now, I think that Donald Trump's picks are going to associate in the same way. I think Matt Gaetz. I think Pete. I think Tulsi Gabbard. I think Lee Zeldin. I think the whole gamut. Although people may be like, hey, why did he pick that? I think he know what he's doing. Comment in the comment section if you think he know what he's doing. I think he know what he's doing. Donald Trump just got some instinct because he learned last time, and I think this time he like, no. I don't care about your resume. I don't care that you had 45,000 years in the military, because clearly people don't know what they're doing in the military sometimes, especially with Afghanistan. So why not give somebody who's logical a chance, somebody who's reasonable a chance? So we'll get to Donald Trump's picks here in a minute. I'm going to go through and show you guys exactly the picks that Donald Trump picked. But first, I want to talk about Donald Trump meeting with Joe Biden. I don't know if you guys have seen this meeting. Sometimes I think that Joe Biden voted for Donald Trump on the cool. No, for real. I think that Joe Biden voted for Donald Trump. Now, you can see if a person vote, but you can't see how they voted. So in the background here is the meeting in the first engagement between the real president and then that old guy, this guy. So I'm going to let you guys watch this clip. I think it's incredibly funny and ironic. And I'm going to show you in a minute why it's ironic, right? Because last time Joe Biden had something to say about Donald Trump, he said he was Hitler and a threat to democracy. Now, if what Joe Biden said was real, it was true, he meant it, and it wasn't just a campaign slogan, then you wouldn't see an interaction like this, would you? Roll the clip.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you. Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
good.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
very much. And thank you very much. And
Welcome back.
Politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
All I heard was, look at Trump. Welcome back, Trump. It's really your house. Homeboy rent. I don't think there's anything else coming from this clip. But let's go to what Joe Biden said about Donald Trump before this. Let's see. What? This is how they lose, and I'm glad they lose this way. Because did you mean this or did you not mean this? Were you being truthful to the American people when you said this, or were y'all just in campaign mode? And this is a shout out to all the people who voted for Kamala this time. Even my family members included. Pay attention. They tricking y'all. They were tricking y'all. And y'all fell for it. They don't really mean what they say. Roll the clip.
Echoing the same exact language used in Nazi Germany. He proudly posts on social media the words that best describe his 2024 campaign, quote, revenge, quote, power, and quote, dictatorship. There's no confusion about who Trump is, what he intends to do.
There's no confusion about who Trump is and what he intends to do. Now, if I were transitioning power and I had a meeting with a guy, I'd shake his hand and I'd say, hey, take care of this country. And I'll say it on the media. I want y'all to hear me tell him, take care of the country. Don't put us in a bad position. Don't do the things that you claim you were going to do. I want you to disavow the things that you said you were going to do to the American people as we transition. Are you willing to do that? Or whatever. We're going to have a problem if somebody was really a threat to the country. Wouldn't you imagine that? We would have a problem. There's going to be a problem on your hands. But now that we've gotten past that point, Donald Trump has opened up a can of whoop, you know what, with his picks. All of these things are looking very good for the Republican Party, in my personal opinion. Donald Trump came out today and made mention, I need to follow my script. Donald Trump came out today and made mention that he was going to get rid of all that DEI bull shenanigans. And I believe him. Let's play the clip of Donald Trump making liberals' heads pop. Their heads are going, I can hear them popping in the back and sizzling and popping. Like if you ever cook some crawdads and you put them in that boiling water and they just screaming. I used to feel bad when I cooked them crawdads and they screaming like that. I'm like, man, are they hurting, man? Could we just chop their heads off real quick and then put them in there? You know, we rub them in that vinegar and clean them up and then put them in that pot, let them boil and they scream. That's what the Democrats are doing. They screaming right now. This is where our country should have been a long time ago. This is the direction that we should have had. This is why we hired him. We should have been doing this 100 years ago. DEI is dead. And your favorite leftist, your favorite white liberal, black pastor will shame this man for what he's about to say. But yet Martin Luther King Jr., if he was alive today, he would be on this thing saying, I have a dream that one day all my little sisters and brothers and cousins and them will be able to hang out together with nobody tripping. That's what Martin Luther King III would have said. With nobody tripping. Shout it. And get rid of that DEI stuff. Get rid of that. I want equity. You cannot achieve equity in the American dream. You can achieve equality, but you can't achieve equity. That's manufactured. Equity means I have to hurt you to get this person at the same level, and that person didn't work for it, but I'm going to put them there anyway because somebody did that's been dead. Been dead 200 years ago. And now we got to pay for what they did. That's not, you can't do equity. You can do equality, which means that the government get up out my way. And I can pursue excellence just like anybody else. Roll the clip.
Tuition costs at colleges and universities have been exploding, and I mean absolutely exploding, while academics have been obsessed with indoctrinating America's youth. The time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions from the radical left, and we will do that. Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics. We will then accept applications for new accreditors who will impose real standards on colleges once again and once and for all. These standards will include defending the American tradition and Western civilization, protecting free speech, eliminating wasteful administrative positions that drive up costs incredibly, removing all Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats, offering options for accelerated and low-cost degrees, providing meaningful job placement and career services, and implementing college entrance and exit exams to prove that students are actually learning and getting their money's worth. Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America. Thank you.
What's wrong with what he said? Somebody find me something wrong with what he said. I don't think what Donald Trump said, anything is wrong with that. We should be upholding these institutions to account and upholding them the way that they should be. We should help young people and encourage states to get the education system right. Therefore, people can compete. Young black men, young black women, if minorities or whatever you want to call it, need to be educated and competitive. They don't need to get a handout and somebody giving them something. We need to help them get educated. You don't go to the back. You don't treat somebody wrong, right? That's like if I had a show and y'all came to the show, I did a meet and greet. And I just screwed over half of the people. And then when they get there, I go, oh, yeah, y'all can all come to the front. No. I should be fair to people so they can fairly choose where they want to be at. Because there's no reason for a person to initially get screwed over that never was going to VIP, and you just give them a VIP spot over people who paid. You can't do stuff like that. You need to understand the value of merit-based performance. That's what everybody should want. Let us compete. Get out the way. Get the racism out there. Don't be racist and biased against me. Don't be sexist against me. Just get out the way. Because I know how to study. I know how to put in the work to get to where I need to go. I got a book like everybody else. I'm going to read my book and I'm going to interpret this right. I'm going to put my note cards down. I'm going to study and I'm going to get a better grade than you. You don't somehow get a better grade because you white. Like the white brain is better than the black brain. It's like, well, let me compete. And we'll see who the better person. That's the way we should be rolling out these things. That's the way we should be operating as a country. And I don't understand how these people have forgotten about that. Let's get to some more Trump stuff. I think the next thing we want to talk about is the picks, Donald Trump's picks. Let's start with Pete, who was one of the more recent picks. I forget how to say his last name.
Pete Hegseth.
Hegseth. Pete Hegseth. He works for Fox News on the weekend. The guy has a substantial military background and experience. I say substantial, it's reasonable. Obviously, the Democrat that came before him, background was insane. The guy had a lot more qualifications, but qualifications and numbers and stuff on the book don't mean you got logic and common sense. That person is the same one that put all this DEI stuff off into the military and got them reading stuff they shouldn't be reading and doing all this old crazy stuff. But Pete, I think, is a good choice. Now, we got a couple clips that we're going to show. One is the news media, i.e. Don Lemon, he got kicked off his show. But Don Lemon is looking stupider than Five Left Shoes. Listen to what they say. Don Lemon is one. The View had something to say about it. And listen to what they're saying, because they're talking as if this guy just worked on Fox News. Donald Trump picked a weekend host to be in a major position overseeing the military. Roll the clip.
Must have been hacked. And then I saw this. An official statement from Donald Trump saying, I am honored to announce that I have nominated Pete Hegseth to serve in my cabinet as the Secretary of Defense. What? At first, some of these folks, these nominations, I said, okay, or appointments, all right, they're a little extreme, but there were some normal people in there, kind of normal, like Marco Rubio or Mike Waltz, a couple of, just regular old Republicans in there. But Pete Hegseth, the morning weekend host on Fox News, come on.
All righty. So let's look at Pete's resume. I don't see it on here. Let me try to find. We'll find Pete's resume because I put it all together. Obviously, he served in the military, Bronze Star. Let me look. I don't see Pete's resume. Okay, military career. I think I see it now. Okay, it says, we wrote it down. So it says his education is from Princeton University, got his bachelor's degree, Harvard University, John F. Kennedy School of Government, military experience, served as an infantry officer with the Army National Guard, deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, Afghanistan, awarded 2 Bronze Stars and a combat infantry badge for his service. And in the media, he's a prominent conservative contributor, host of the Fox and Friends Weekend on Fox News Channel from 2017 to 2025 or 2024, known for his outspoken conservative views and advocacy for veterans. Who else would you pick? And we have some more clips. Do we have the clip of him in that interview where they are mad at him now because they say that he hate women in the military?
Yeah, it's part of the View clip.
Okay, we'll play that clip because the View had critique about it, and we'll play that clip because I think it should be presented. I think the guy is a common sense guy that will do well. And these fools act like he ain't do nothing his whole life. I think this dummy said he don't know nothing about the military. Ma'am, he served. And just because he didn't retire as a colonel doesn't mean that the guy don't know what he's talking about, because I honestly believe these bureaucratic positions don't really need credentials. They need common sense. All right, let's play The View, because these hamburger heifers done lost their mind again and again. Every time Trump picks somebody, they lose their mind again, and they silly. I don't know how they get away with this stuff. It's like, you don't always have to be in opposition of Donald Trump. You don't always have to be in opposition. And you don't always have to disrespect people, right? She would disrespect the serviceman if he supported Trump. This would be blasphemy if they did this to Tim Walz. They criticize him. He actually has stolen valor. And they go, the right is shaming a serviceman. Well, Pete was a serviceman too. And y'all can shame him to no end. Roll the clip.
So right now, people are trying to make sense out of the latest moves by you know who.
Your president. That's who it is.
He made
Your
up a Department of Government Efficiency. That doesn't exist, but he's made it up. And he's picked the world's richest man, Elon Musk, and another billionaire, Vivek Ramaswamy, to run it. But before anyone
Hold on a
could...
second. Now, think about this. The richest man in the world, and Vivek Ramaswamy, who's a 30-year-old billionaire, that all of them started and ran companies. Elon Musk has probably the most successful company in American history, especially in its infancy. If you had stock in Tesla 10 years ago, you would be rich right now. And he bought Twitter. Who better to work with government efficiency than the richest man in the world? What are they talking about? You want a guy that got a degree in government efficiency, or you want a guy who's displayed clear signs of understanding wealth, American dream, and efficiency? You can't have a rocket that go off out of space. You can't have Starlink, Neuralink, Tesla solar panels. I think he came out with a cell phone. You can't do none of that if you don't understand operational efficiency. But they want some fool DEI selection to be over government efficiency. And they think that there shouldn't even be government efficiency. I'll get to that in a minute. Finish the clip.
process that, he also picked, you ready? Co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend. Not even like regular. Weekend. Pete Hegseth?
I can't even say his name if you ignorant.
Hegseth?
Yeah.
Okay, Pete Hegseth. And he's picked him to be U.S. Secretary of Defense. Now, MAGA supporters and detractors are trying to figure out what? Because of this pick. But take a look.
Obviously, it's weird, and there's only one reason he's doing it, because he's on Fox News.
Look, I was stunned when I saw it, but then it made all the sense in the world. It also helps that the guy you're looking at is central casting.
This is an incredibly serious time in the world. It's an incredibly serious cabinet position, and I don't think Hegseth is a serious person and a serious pick.
Now, if you're wondering about the impact of this possible new Secretary of Defense, here's his take on women who serve their country.
You don't like women in combat?
No.
Why not?
I love women service members who contribute amazingly because everything about men and women serving together makes the situation more complicated, and complication in combat means casualties are worse. I'm okay with the idea that you maintain the standards where they are for everybody. And if there's some, hard-charging female that meets that standard, great, cool, join the infantry battalion. But that is not what's happened.
Yeah.
What has happened is the standards have lowered.
So, that's not true.
Wait a minute. Who? Find somebody that got a problem with that. Even people that serve. That dude said the realest thing I've ever heard. But people feel it, but won't say it out loud. They feel it. Ain't nobody in the military that served that's like, oh, that's just crazy. Why would anybody care what the PT standard is for women? Brother. Of course people care. Of course people care. Shout out to Anton with the major super chat. It's funny because I tried to super chat. I super chatted Anton the other day and somebody else, and it never showed. My super chat never showed up. I was like, I saw it leave my bank account, but the super chat didn't show up. So I got you next time, Anton. If the thing worked like it's supposed to. Anyway, shout out to Anton. I love seeing super chats like that. Boy, I ain't gonna even lie. But what service member, except a leftist lunatic, will say it's a problem for us to differentiate and make sure that we mitigate any conflict in a combat situation? I was telling my COO this earlier, like, I don't believe that women in combat zones are equal to men. Just physicality alone is different. That don't mean they can't serve in the military. Nobody in the world will say that. But it's a difference. And then if a woman gets deployed into a combat zone and it happened to be that time of month, bro, why would a woman be put in that situation? I'm not say give them medications where they don't have that monthly thing, but I got a wife. And when it's that time, emotions a certain way, you're not going to give her the tampons and stuff. They can't have a pad, the tampon. They bleeding. They got to change them out. That's too much going on. We supposed to be doing our job. And then when you have men and women together, people in the military, people be complaining, women just getting abused in the military. Men and women don't have nothing to do, shouldn't be around each other. Men should be focused on doing their thing. Because when you add, I wanted to say the word, but I'm trying to be a good Christian. When you add the temptation of booty into the military, people going to be smashing and dashing, or they going to be thinking about smashing and dashing. And when you've been around dudes for a long time, that look like a piece of candy. That's a sweet tooth. Piece of candy, bro. And they start looking better than they ever looked. And it ain't like they ugly. Some of the women look good in that uniform. Men be all in they think about the wrong thing. They need to be thinking about defending and protecting. They go home to their own wife. But y'all love to see men lose their whole marriage in the military. Y'all love to see it. Even these dingleberries. Nick wrote a clip.
Is this the guy who's qualified to make decisions about the most powerful military in the world, who clearly does not know anything about the military?
You know, and also I feel insulted. I'm a morning TV host, and I've been here the longest.
Yes.
Where's my ambassadorship to Italy, Donald?
Well, you're an idiot, that's why.
Something I said?
Beyond what he's saying just about women, the scary part is the Secretary of Defense is the highest-ranking member of the federal cabinet, and there is a budget of $841 billion. It's the largest government agency. It operates 4,800 sites in over 160 countries, and as someone who right now, we stand here with a country that has a lot of turmoil in the Middle East, in Russia and Ukraine, even in Asia with China, it makes me more than a little worried that you're picking someone who has, he served for 5 or 6 years. He was mid-ranking, never has worked in the government. And you can say the government's bureaucratic and get an outside person that's going to clean it up, but it hasn't been cleaned up yet. And therefore, you have to understand the place you're going into to operate it at its most efficient capacity. So it's alarming.
Hold on. So this is where these fools drop the ball at. They stupider than 5 shoes on a 8-legged man, walking backwards in the intersection, blind, deaf, and with dementia. I mean, I want to say a person with dementia is stupid, but you get what I'm saying. They silly, bro. They said it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Okay, that's because there's been a bunch of military people with all these qualifications that don't have common sense and they're leftist nut jobs. So with all of these experienced military personnel, and you're saying that it didn't work, it's about time we try something different. Can y'all comprende? Now, a lot of people may be shocked, right? I was shocked. I was like, who is this guy? Why would he do that? But then I started to think to myself, I think Donald Trump know what he's doing. When he picked J.D. Vance, I said I can never judge a Trump pick ever again because J.D. Vance turned out to be one of the best picks that he's made. And for some reason, Donald Trump can see people and who they really are. And I think the last time he said this on Joe Rogan, if you haven't watched the show, on Joe Rogan's show, he had made mention, Donald Trump made mention that he didn't know what to do. When he first got in there, he was taking advice of other people, and he had to hire people from other people's reference point. And most of them end up writing a book after he fired them, which is silly to me. I don't know how people take them seriously. Like, oh, you wrote a book? Oh, you wrote a book? Oh, you making money off of your hatred towards Donald Trump after he fired you. You didn't write a book when you were there. After he fired you, you somehow got all these secrets, and he was such a bad guy. But you decided to work for him. Just like this little wasted face over here. Is that the end of the clip or is more? All right, roll the clip. There's more.
What stood out to me, and by the way, I was rooting for Senator Joni Ernst, who's a female combat veteran, to be Secretary of DOD. But my issue here is, listen, he served his country admirably. I'm grateful to Pete Hegseth for his service, but he has no policy-making experience and no Pentagon experience. And by all accounts, the reason that Donald Trump chose him is because he wants a disruptor who's going to help implement his agenda. That's technically his right as incoming commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
The problem is, much more qualified people have gone into that role to disrupt the Pentagon, make it more streamlined, less bureaucratic, and they've never succeeded. They've ended up being outmaneuvered by four-star generals and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So even from Donald Trump's own intent and purpose with this guy, I think that he's going to spend weeks just trying to navigate the Pentagon. It is 1 mile around.
It's huge.
It is a huge. I worked there as a Pentagon spokeswoman. There are 3 million people that will be under him on day one. The entire U.S. Armed Forces, the entire civilian population that reports to them. It is the most complex and by design bureaucratic agency in government because it shouldn't be as simple as signing something and then we're going to war. It should go through multiple rungs. And I don't see any evidence that he deeply understands the role of the Secretary of Defense. And I would also argue it's the second most important position in government after the President of the United States. You need a cool head with the experience to do the job, and I don't think he has.
All I heard was that women can't be in combat. Again, another sort of take women down.
Well,
what is this?
This is what America voted for. You know, I'm not surprised at this.
Hold on, Nick. Hold on. I got a preface before this fool say something. It's finna get bad. Put your seatbelt on. Make sure your life insurance is up to date. It's finna go off the rails. She the dumbest person on the show. I thought the other ones were dumb. She the dumbest person. She the most racist, dumbest person on this show. And they said all this about him not having experience. We will see, right? Y'all can talk all you want and say what you think, and then they act like the Secretary of Defense is like by himself. He has no consultation. He has nobody working with him. He just make all the rules himself and do everything himself. He has to literally 3 million people have to report directly to him. That's not how it works. That's not how it works whatsoever. He's the head of the food chain, like the CEO. You got people who are managing these places, and those managers have managers. They have managers, and they report to you. And you say, hey, is this going on in this agency? I need this changed. You need a person that understands reality. You have people that will bring reference points to him and bring knowledge from their positions, and then he make the ultimate decision. And I think Donald Trump wants somebody there that have a cool head, that's smart, that nobody's doing is going to listen to what Donald Trump wants and what the American people want. That's all you're doing in these top and when it's not a C-suite, but it's like a C-suite position. The man at the top of the food chain ain't talking to every single lay member. They're not sitting there making every decision that happen every single day of the week. You put people in charge that will do those things, and they report back to you, and you make the ultimate decision because you have the wisdom. And you don't have to serve in the military for 400,000 years to clean up stuff. Now let's play this woman. I want to give another shout out to Anton. Y'all see that super chat? Y'all give him a like. Go follow Anton, man. He a up and coming star. I seen him on Fox or something the other day, just killing it. And I love Anton, man. I really like him, man. Me and him need to go live together in an interview because I think he's a very smart young man that's a lot cooler than me. You know what I mean? I think he a little more calm than me. I'm on here talking crazy every day. But let's play Sunny Hostin so you can lose a couple points on your IQ test. You finna lose a whole bunch of brain cells. But hey, I warned you. Roll the clip.
Do agree with Adam Kinzinger that he's deeply unserious.
He said this once: the Pentagon likes to say our diversity is our strength. What a bunch of garbage. In the military, our diversity is not our strength. I think that says a lot about who he is. I think what he said about women says a lot about who he is. He also said, first of all, you've got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, which happens to be General Charles Brown, Jr., a black man. And so I think we're seeing misogyny play out. I think we're seeing racism play out. And, we should be disgusted. We should be very, very concerned, as Alyssa has pointed out, about how important this position was. But again, I'm not surprised that he would choose someone
No,
so
But I do
deeply.
think the context,
he kissed the ring.
the
That's
context
why.
of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, my understanding is it's over the Afghanistan withdrawal, which I objectively think was a failure. But even so, I don't think you should be firing generals who are acting out the orders of politicians. It's politicians who should be held accountable for missions that fail or for, bad efforts
And by
to
the way,
withdraw
Trump is the
troops.
politician that put him in that position, that gave him that position. So
Right, but I'm saying his
that-
issue would be
that-
with President
that says-
Biden,
that
not
says
with the four-star.
I'm sorry. I just don't understand. I'm sorry.
Of course you don't.
I don't
You're an
understand
idiot.
anybody who talks down to anybody in the military, but especially talking down to women in the military. I don't understand why you think that's a good route to go to start your new gig. But, far be it from me. I didn't vote for you, so I'm going to watch all this play out.
Okay. Dumb. This woman, they silly, man. They don't understand how this stuff works. You're talking down to somebody in the military. Well, he served in the military. And everybody should be fired from the Afghanistan debacle. You don't get to pick and choose. These people are holdovers. Everybody need to go. There's consequences. In the future, they need to make better decisions. And according to Sonny Holston, you can't fire anybody that's black. Ma'am. So that means anybody black that get fired is because of racism. No, it's a failure, abject failure. They botched it. It was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened in the military in American history as long as I've been alive. So they got to go. Matt Gaetz, we got some Matt Gaetz. Is this the last clip of him or we got more?
We have two.
Let's play some more Pete clips and then we're going to go to Matt Gaetz real quick because we got a couple Matt Gaetz things that I want to touch on before we end. All right, let's go. This is the next clip? Yeah. Okay. I forget the guy who's interviewing him. It is Randy. Or Ryan. His name is Ryan something. Is he a wrestler? No. The guy who's interviewing him is a former military personnel. His show is Ryan something. I can't think. Somebody in the comment section. I like the guy. I actually wanted to go on the show. I can't remember people's names for whatever. Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan. That's his name. No, WWE. No, Sean Ryan. That dude is freaking amazing. I love his show. I watch people on it. I just be forgetting people's names. Maybe because I smoked weed when I was a kid and I lost a lot of brain cells in my memory. In football, I may got a little bit of CTE in there, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So y'all forgive me, just a little bit. Somebody want to talk about John Thun. What is his name? Thun or whatever his name is. Thun. The person that they may have picked for the Speaker of the state or in the senator, the leader of the Senate. Senate Majority Leader. I finally got that out. Let's roll the clip on this. And then we're going to go through the chart, y'all, so stay tuned. We're going to go through the chart of everybody that Donald Trump has picked so far, and then we're going to have a conversation with it. And I'm going to interview a guy named Seth Leipson, who he's a local here in Phoenix, Arizona, but the guy's the smartest guy I've ever met. Other than Charlie Kirk and some other people, he's the smartest guy I've ever met. And we're going to go over and talk in more thorough detail about some of the picks and give a deep dive analysis tomorrow. But today we're going to finish it with this. Roll the clip.
There's a chance to course correct it, but it would take the new Trump administration going after it really hard.
How would they correct it?
Well, first of all, you got to fire, you got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, it's got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it. And that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, 1995, let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve. And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve, because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know there were mistakes made on our tours all over the place, but I, at least for the most part, had a sense that my senior leaders were committed to the completion of the mission for the right reasons. And maybe there were strategic differences and all that other stuff, and it wasn't always perfect, but that trust is broken, and you have to reestablish that trust by putting in no-nonsense warfighters in those positions who aren't going to cater to the socially correct garbage.
How do you not love this guy? You don't need to have be a 4-star general to just understand how to clean this stuff up. You don't have to be some top dog to figure this out. It's just the people in there are stupid. I don't know these people personally, but it seems that they're stupid, right? Afghanistan was a mess. Transgender in the military is the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. It's nothing wrong with people being transgender. Please do your thing. You live in America. Transition all you want. You can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You can cut it off, drop it off, throw it in the trash, put it in the freezer. Who cares? That's your choice. But when it comes to the military, we don't need to be doing social experiments in the military. The military has one objective. Well, it has multiple objectives with one common goal. And that is to serve the United States of America and protect us from foreign enemies. And we need people in the military that's focused on that. We don't need distractions, race and all that. People have been getting along for a very long time. You don't need DEI. There's enough black men that want to serve in the military that do an incredible job. You don't need to try to give them a special bonus or something, do all this crazy stuff. Oh, we need to hire black people. No, black men are strong enough, smart enough, courageous enough to have the credentials to be promoted and serve and be colonels. I mean, we don't need your placating. Get out the way. Let the man who earned it earn it. I don't know why we still talking about this. Roll the clip.
In 2016, I was under consideration by Trump to be his VA secretary.
Nice.
I was interviewed multiple times. In fact, I was down to the final 2. And, go up to Trump Tower, up the elevator, sit with him, talk about it. And ultimately, I think he thought I was a little young and all that. But I remember he called me at one point in the process, and he said, Pete, I want to pick you. I want to pick you, but there's one problem. Why do all the veterans groups hate you? And I sort of laughed. And he goes, no, but they hate you. And I'm like, well, Mr. President, let me tell you why. Because outside the box thinking of, say, providing private choice for veterans is a threat, complete threat to the ecosystem around the government bureaucracy and the VA and the veterans groups. They exist to defend their territory. And they'll say, oh, it's for the betterment of the vets. Well, if vets are getting better treatment from non-conventional places, why aren't we exploring that? Well, the bureaucracy can't handle that. Well, it's not the existing system. It's not where most of the money comes from.
Any veteran that's watching me right now, do you disagree with what he's saying? Every veteran I know hates the VA. I don't know a veteran that speaks well of the VA. They take too long. They don't approve stuff. I mean, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know a veteran that thinks the VA is operating properly. And then you got stuff. What was that? The hyperbaric chamber. Because I have a guy who's my friend, Navy SEAL, and he got things that happened to him in the military. I think both physically and psychologically. And I introduced him to a guy that does the hyperbaric chamber treatment. And it does some other stuff. It's some other electro treatment and stuff. And I went, the guy invited me to go, and I felt better. I was like, wow, this stuff works. And he has been going and driving 40 minutes one way to go to this thing and get the treatment that he needs, which I believe is not covered in the VA and it's not explored upon in traditional medicine. Why can't we explore these things that help veterans in ways in which that are not standardized in the box? It's so much veteran suicide. I don't understand how the VA, I don't know how it works because I'm not a veteran, but you would think that they would have better mental health support, that it would be absolutely free to get as much mental health support from anybody you want. The VA should cover the military going anywhere. You know, I had a few friends, well, at least one, Mike Day, that took his own life, man. I interviewed Mike Day. I talked to him. He was I could tell he had a lot of PTSD. I could tell he was still struggling. He had a support dog. When he talked, he was real dark when he would say certain things. He was a good dude, man. And when he took his life, I just can't believe it. Like, how did he not get the help that he needed? And I don't know. Maybe his demons were too much for him. But I know some other veterans that, and when I was a cop, man, veterans we would go to these calls where veterans are taking their lives, and it was sad. It was depressing to see a man who served honorably in the military for so many years just didn't get the help they needed. I never forget the veteran. This is going to be a gruesome story, so turn your eye. Don't talk. Turn the audio off if you don't want to hear it. I'll never forget this. This image is in my mind, this stain in my mind for the rest of my life. There was a guy who was a veteran, and you could tell he had an injury from serving in the military. Therefore, he was bound by a wheelchair. Clearly, his health had declined so much that he was completely, permanently bound in a wheelchair. And I remember the call coming in where he called 911 he called the hotline, and he said, I'm in the cemetery. I'm done living. I don't want to do this no more. It's over. Let them know I'm in the cemetery. And he shoots himself on the phone. You can hear a pop on the phone, and they're telling us that this is happening. And I remember going to that site, looking through the cemetery, Evergreen Cemetery. And I remember us looking for him. And we put the spotlight, and we see him in the chair, and he had shot himself in the head. And I see him there, and he had American flag. I don't want to get emotional. Let me stop talking about this. He had the American flag on his wheelchair. Patriotic man. Ended his life. And I think about all the stuff that military people tell me, and I'm watching the fact that where was his support system at? And that's one of many, and that's one division in one city one of the smallest cities in the state. Well, now it's the second largest city in this state, but in the entire country, it's not a major city. Imagine what's going on in major cities. So somebody that understands the VA, let me look at some of these comments. Somebody that understands the VA understands that something needs to change. Something needs to change. How do we not understand that? And I feel like the current administration and the bureaucracy, they're so bogged down with bull shenanigans that they can't take a step back and say, well, we need to cut this and add this. They can't. They're wasting money on trans surgeries and all that other propaganda. I knew somebody that worked for the Obama administration. We worked as a conservative in the Obama administration. Or it was an Obama something. No, he worked in the Trump administration, but it was an Obama objective that they rejected, that they were going to spend a couple $100 million, I think it was like $400 million, to change the logos on the bathrooms across the country to where they were ambiguous, where it wasn't male and female signage on the bathrooms. It was like male, female with a dress. And you know how they do the ambiguous ones? They want to spend $400 million to change bathroom signs. And of course, the guy that I talked to that was a part of that said, man, they said, go F yourself. The waste. I don't want to get on a rant. How do people in the military not get everything covered for them in this country? How? You got some nasty woman out here that can't keep her stuff together. She got 5 baby daddies by 5 different dudes that want nothing to do with her, and she get child support money. Not child support money, but she get government assistance out the wazoo. You got people come over here illegally. They got 401k. They doing all kind of stuff for these people. And then the veteran is sitting on the corner with PTSD, circling down the drain, served this country, and ain't getting nothing. A little bit. Enough to barely get by. Man, you honorably served this country and you went to a combat zone? You should never have to worry about nothing ever in your life. Free groceries. They give you a thing where you can eat for free. Don't let me be the president. Eat for free. You served America food. Like what? And then you got illegals come over here. We spending $40 million a day in some cities to take care of illegal aliens. What? All y'all got to go. We won't spend another dime on anybody except for we support our military personnel. I don't know how we even talking about this right now. Anyway, we're going to go to Matt Gaetz real quick. I want to talk about Matt Gaetz. This was another clip or another pick that Donald Trump picked that really shocked me at first. Roll the clip.
All right, we've got another Trump appointment, and this is one that is probably going to surprise a lot of people because he was not on any of the lists that were floating around out there. And there had been some discussion that President-elect Trump was having a little trouble making this final decision, or maybe this is the person he had in mind all along. But he has now nominated Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz as Attorney General of the United States. He just wrote this on Truth Social. Quote, Matt is a deeply gifted and tenacious attorney, trained at William & Mary College of Law, distinguished himself in Congress through his focus on achieving desperately needed reform at the Department of Justice. Few issues in America are more important than ending the partisan weaponization of our justice system. Matt will end weaponized government, protect our borders, dismantle criminal organizations, and restore Americans' badly shattered faith and confidence in the Justice Department.
All I got to say is let them cook. That's all I got to say. Let them cook. Let Donald Trump's picks play out the way they're going to play out. And if they don't do a good job, then criticize the man. But you can't criticize before you see what's going to happen. Let them cook. Let them cook. Put that brisket on there and let it cook. Quit looking at, quit open the top, put that thing on there and let it do it for 24 hours. You ain't got to go check on it. Let it cook. Y'all want to be mad and do premature stuff. Let them cook, man. I think they're going to kill it. Let's go to the Donald Trump's picks. And like I said, I'm going to interview Seth tomorrow, and we're going to go over in detail why these picks are good or bad, right? I don't know what he's going to say, but I know he's an expert on this, and I want to talk to him about it. Let's look at the picks, Nick. Let's go to the picks. Hopefully I'm not covering any of them. I think I am. We'll figure it out. I'll point them out to you. No, we can scroll down. So these are a few picks that Donald Trump have picked. His chief of staff. Let me go down. All right. So Marco Rubio is obviously the Secretary of State. He picked Marco Rubio. A lot of people don't like Marco Rubio that I found out. I can see why. There's a lot of bad stuff that have been said. Marco seemed like a little soft around the edges at a few occasions in the past. I love his stance on Israel. That was the hardest thing I ever heard him say, was that. Now, I don't know much about Marco Rubio. I haven't followed him. I just remember he used to be LaMarco, and Trump and him reconciled. I think Donald Trump had to have spoke to him, and they must have a good relationship for him to make Marco Rubio the Secretary of State. He didn't do that for Ron DeSantis or anybody else. He picked Marco Rubio. So I'm convinced that Donald Trump knows what he's doing. And then we got Pete, the defense secretary, Matt Gaetz, the attorney general, which I just mentioned. Kristi Noem is the Homeland Security. And we're going to put a link to this website so you guys can go look at it, because I think they're going to continue to update. And it gives a quick synopsis of who he picked and why, and a little bit of background of who they are. And so Homeland Security Secretary, I don't really know what none of these people do for the most part, but I think that I think he's picking people that are loyal to him and people that are going to do a job that the American people want to see him do. Lee Zeldin is going to be the Environmental Protection Agency Administrator, which I think they're going to cut all of that waste in the EPA. All that bull shenanigans. They're going to drill, baby, drill. All right? We ain't gonna be wasting no time. Tulsi Gabbard is the Director of National Intelligence, which I think is pretty interesting. All the intelligence agencies have to report to Tulsi Gabbard. And I think she's going to do a tremendous job. It's funny that they not happy that he's elevating a woman who served in the military, who ran for president, who was a Democrat. What they got to say now? I think Tulsi Gabbard is going to do a tremendous job. I cannot wait to see her move. All right, we got Elise Stefanik, who's going to be the UN ambassador. I don't know what role the UN ambassador has, but I do know Elise Stefanik is a baller. All right, she's a good woman. She stands strong, unlike the other girl. I forget her name. What's her name, Nick? I mean, you probably don't remember. She turned on Trump. I forget her name. Ellis. Jenna Ellis. They look kind of similar a little bit, but they're like Jenna Ellis. She's not going to be a Jenna Ellis. And then we got John Ratcliffe, who is the Central Intelligence, or the director of Central Intelligence Agency. I don't know what, CIA. I don't really know what exactly his skill sets are. Like I said, we're going to talk about it later, but there's a quick summary of all of these people right here in the little description. Right? It says Ratcliffe, an attorney and former 4-term Republican lawmaker from Texas, served as Trump's director of national intelligence from 2020 to 2021. You got her, I can go down the list of all these people. I don't want to read it. I'll let you guys read it. But these are some of Trump's picks. Donald Trump is like picking a draft. I don't know who he going to pick. Some people trading. They trading teams. I don't know who they going to pick. They got a couple outstanding people, and in the comment section, let me know what you guys think about some of these picks and who they should pick. Thank y'all for the super chats. I'll get to those here in a second. But let me know who you think they should pick. I mean, Treasury, I don't know what the treasurer will do. I don't really know how distinguished that position is, but obviously I think these first 5 are probably the most prominent positions a person can have. Interior, agriculture, commerce, labor, Health and Human Services, I think that's what it's called. I think he's going to put RFK Jr. in this position. HUD, I want to say ADOT, that's Arizona Department of Transportation, but I don't know who he's going to put in the Department of Transportation. I have no idea. If I was a president, I wouldn't even know what these people do. I'm like, hey, you go there. Hey, it's grandma, go in this one. Grandma, just do what I tell you to do. Go in that one. Energy, education. I don't know who's going to be on education. I don't know if Donald Trump is going to eliminate the education department, which I think he probably should. VA, this is going to be crucial. I think this is going to change forever if we get somebody really good in the veteran affairs. Trade, CEA, SBA. Well, we need somebody good in SBA. I hope I know this person because I'd love to get some SBA loans right by now. I don't even know what this one is. I don't know what this one is either. And CIA director. So we'll see who he picks in these positions. But this was definitely, these two were shockers to me. This was completely shocking and unexpected to me. This was unexpected, but not shocking. Like, I think he had a good relationship with Marco Rubio, but I just thought that he'll put somebody else here. And I thought he'd put somebody with a little more military experience here, but I'm not disappointed. I thought he would also put somebody much older. I mean, Matt Gaetz is 41 years old. I thought he'd put somebody 50, 60 years old that have a tremendous background in doing things like an attorney general. I mean, Matt Gaetz was a House of Representative. I don't really know if he had any position higher than House of Representative, but I think it's invaluable for Trump to put his people in that's going to do what he wants them to do. More so than if they have a tremendous amount of experience. Because I'm pretty sure they all meet and talk and make decisions, and Trump says they want to drill, baby, drill. Lee Zeldin say, come on, let's drill. When do you want to start? Whatever we deal with the UN, at least Stefanik is going to say, yes, Trump, whatever you need, let's get it done. His chief of staff was the chief of staff of his campaign, which was successful. Loyalty right here. She deserved that position. And she's the first woman in United States history to be the chief of staff. They don't care about her. She cooked liver, or chopped liver, they call it. All right, let's see. What was the next thing that we wanted to talk about? I forget. And shout out to you guys that gave the super chats. We're going to get to that in a second. While we take a quick deviation, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to get to, and I've been talking so much I haven't been able to get to it. There's a lot of different stuff. We got is there something different on Don Lemon, or that was that clip? Okay, we'll get to these in a second. Hold on one second. I want to give a quick shout out to the Tatum store. Also, I want to shout out, and we got a crazy sale going on right now. I didn't want to do it. They said I'm crazy for doing it, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay. If you go on to the Tatum store, you can wait till after the live stream or go on now. We got a sale going on. The craziest sale that I've ever done in the history of this store. 80% off. And do I need to put 80% off? No. But I want to get rid of this stuff. I want to bring in new stuff. And I know a lot of y'all love these. These are previous best sellers that we've had. And especially this one, man. Voting for the felon. What are we doing? But 80% off. All of your favorites. This is one of my favorites. I can't believe we got this one on 80% off. 80% off. Go and get some merch today. All you got to do is go to the website, click sale, and you get 80% off. If you add, you ain't got to put no code in or nothing. You add this to the cart, it will automatically take 80% off. So go in, grab it. You better get it now because I'm sure it's going to sell out in the next, I don't know, day or so. It's going to be all sold out. We got some new stuff on here, so if you want some new stuff, go ahead and check it out. These are my favorites. The Victory shirt I was wearing almost every day I wear that. And we got some of the Victory Trump fist pump shirt. We got some other stuff here. We got some Proud MAGA garbage. We got some yard signs. Everything you need. We just getting better and better every single day. I want to also go to Synergy. I'll click it here. For you guys that are just finding out about this or whatever, you didn't know that I have a beverage company, and one of our beverage lines is Synergy. And Synergy, we got T-Force, which is a testosterone booster. We made sure that we get our stuff clean, it's natural, it's good for you, and we're going to continue to improve. I'm not the type of person that just want to be status quo. We have formulators. Our guy who works for me, that's a formulator, and he formulates the stuff that I want. He didn't necessarily formulate T-Force. Obviously, we did the ingredients. He checked it for me, but the next iteration of T-Force and from here on, he's going to formulate for me. Synergy drink, he formulated this from start to finish. And this is a daytime drink and then a nighttime supplement. So you take the day for good energy. The taste is amazing. I wouldn't even have it if the taste wasn't good. That's what I told him. It has to be natural, and the flavor has to be bomb.com or people ain't going to want it. So it's the day and the night. It's not available yet. It's coming soon. Put your name on it, right? Click on it. Go to notify me when made available. You click on that, put your information in. We'll put you in the system. And as soon as we launch this, which we're hoping to do by the end of the year or early January, the T-Force is going to be in December. Hopefully we can get the Synergy energy day and night. Hopefully we can get those in by the end of December or early January. But put your name on there because once we launch this, they're going to be gone. This is probably the best supplement on the market. Nobody's doing complete energy, where you get a good quality night's sleep with good natural supplements that help you to get up, help you to have great sleep so you wake up with energy. We have ashwagandha in it. We have melatonin, just a very small amount of melatonin. Most of it is magnesium, so you can get really good sleep. And then you wake up refreshed, and you take energy in the morning if you need a little boost, and you will literally change your life. I think this will change people's lives. We're going to have them in 7-day packs and then 14-day packs. And then you can buy more if you want them for the whole month. But I think it's going to really change people's lives. Okay. All righty. Let's get to some more news while you guys are watching. I want to get to Don Lemon quitting or getting off X. Let's watch Don Lemonhead cry himself to sleep as he is dropping off of X. So Don Lemonhead decided that he want to get off X, and I don't know what he's thinking, but he's such a crybaby little coward. And he said the white man is the biggest threat to America, yet he's sleeping with one of them. Roll the clip.
Hi, everyone. I have loved connecting with all of you on Twitter and then on X for all of these years. But it's time for me to leave the platform.
Why?
I once believed that it was a place for honest debate and discussion, transparency and free speech. But I now feel it does not serve that purpose. In addition, starting this Friday, November 15th, X is implementing new terms of service, which, among other things, states that, quote, all disputes be brought exclusively in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas or state courts located in Tarrant County, Texas, end quote.
Worth, baby.
The full terms of service can be found on my written statement or on the X website. Now, as the Washington Post recently reported on X's decision to change the terms, this, quote, ensures that such lawsuits will be heard in courthouses that are a hub for conservatives, which experts say could make it easier for X to shield itself from litigation and punish critics. I think that speaks for itself. You can find me on YouTube at The Don Lemon Show, or on TikTok and Facebook at Don Lemon, and on Instagram and Blue Sky at Don Lemon Official. I hope you will join me there. Thanks.
Bye, Felicia. You know what? Listen. That's why I love Elon. Elon is my new hero, man. He's up there with Trump. They have these legal hearings in these leftist states, California, New York, and they don't rule favorably for the First Amendment. Oh, somebody said something. Mark Robinson should be in the cabinet. I think Mark Robinson should be in the cabinet. 100%. I love Mark Robinson. He's a great man. That little porn site thing that they accused him of, who cares, bro? And I don't think it was him. They said he was on there saying he's a Nazi. You think he gonna go to a porn site and say, I'm a black Nazi? I don't think he did it. I met Mark Robinson. He's a great man. Let me get back to Don Lemon. So what they do is they send these legal ramifications to these leftist places, and they rule in favor for leftist lunatics. Elon Musk is based in Texas. Elon Musk will have the lawsuits and stuff based out of the courts in Texas. I think it's a complete win. Only people mad is people like Don Lemon because they know he can get toe up. And it's funny because they say right-wing Texas. Hey, look, a lot of people live in Texas. A lot of people love Texas. A lot of people move to Texas. Why you want to rag on Texas now? And that's because they know they ain't going to be able to do that stupid stuff that they've been doing. And Don Lemon has been trash ever since he got kicked off that show. And Don Lemon used to be good. Don Lemon used to tell black men to pull their pants up. Don Lemon used to stand on business. I don't know if his boyfriend that is now his quote-unquote husband, we all know that don't count, but to him it can count. His quote-unquote husband, I don't know if his husband didn't tricked him into something, but he used to be good. I got another clip of Don Lemon. Roll the clip.
Women I've been talking to are really, really concerned, and they're emotional, and I think a lot of them have a right to be.
Politicians aren't perfect. They're imperfect like everybody else. Trump's rhetoric isn't for everybody. His style isn't for everybody. We got a lot of good things done under Trump.
Okay, then what they did, meaning a woman's right to choose, is removed under Trump.
That's not the only issue in this world, okay? A percentage of the female vote went up 2%. So are those women crazy? I mean, it's not 50%, but it's high 40s, and he got that. So ask those women. Like, they voted for Trump. So clearly it wasn't just abortion was the issue. Now, I agree. Even in very Republican states, pro-choice amendments have done very, very well, okay? So it is a concern. I think most people are pro-choice, okay? But at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of people, there's other things. They're concerned about the broken border. They're concerned about crime. They're concerned about inflation. They're concerned about a lot of other things. So women are not one-dimensional. Men are not one-dimensional. And so if you're upset about abortion, great. If that's your prime issue, then go live in a state that's pro-choice. If it's not your one issue, like a lot of people vote for Trump, you got other things to care about, and he'll fix those things. Not totally, but he'll do his best.
I think it's easy for you to say as a man.
Well, dude, it's easy for me to say about a lot of things. Sure, I'm not a woman. That's why I don't opine on abortion.
He messed up and interviewed the most logical dude in New York City. That looked like New York or somewhere. I don't know where he's at. Looked like Central Park. Well, man, I ain't been to Central Park enough to know, but that kind of looked like a park. And I've been to Central Park once, and it got trees just like that. So maybe Don Lemon Head is there, or maybe he's not. But he picked the most logical guy on planet Earth. Somebody, Riley Gaines or Megyn Kelly for press secretary. Megyn Kelly for press secretary would be lights out. I don't know who he's going to pick. I know he's going to pick. He's going to pick Caroline Leavitt because she's already his spokeswoman right now. I think he's going to put her in there because she's been loyal and been doing a good job. But what was I going to say? He interviewed the wrong guy. I think that guy had a really good take. Trump isn't for everybody. Abortion. Trump got more of the woman vote than he did last time, and this was supposed to be a topic of discussion. I think people malign women or degrade women's intelligence by acting like that's all they care about. Women ain't tripping on that. Like, that's not the only thing women care about. Like for instance, the gym that I go to, there's so many women in there working out and pregnant. They love their kid. They love to have babies. These women ain't in there thinking like these fools that want to off their kids because they sleeping with Tyrone and Tyrone don't want to be with them today. I'm not saying that's all the what you know, the unaliving of the unborn is, but I think it's a lot of it. Women are sleeping with people, accidentally getting pregnant, and they use that as birth control. Most women aren't. Most good women aren't thinking like that. Most good women are protecting themselves to start with, and then secondarily, they want children. For a woman not to want children, I think is weird. For a man not to want a woman is weird. For a woman not to want children, that's how God made you. I can't see a woman not having an urge. I can see external factors. A woman like, I ain't found a good man yet. I get it, sis. Don't have a kid if you ain't found that one. Woman is struggling financially. A woman, she knows she need to go to counseling because she broken, because she didn't slept with too many men. Okay, I get you. You probably don't want it because of external circumstances. But generally speaking, women would love to have children. That's what they're made to. Their bodies are made. No other human can do that. They're made to do this. They have urges to do this. That's why we got, 8 billion people on planet Earth. People can't stop it. They got to do it. They go to jail. They go to hell doing it. And people got urges. So it ain't weird for a woman to want to have children. I think it's weird for a woman not to. And for a man not to want a woman to have children. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm too smart for this, I guess. When I say I'm too smart for this, I guess I'm public school education got me to where I'm at. I don't know. That's what people say. Like, I got a little stuff on my eye. I need to put some eyeliner on there or something. Nick, pause. All right. Is that the only Don Lemon head clip? Yeah. All right. We already did that one. What's the other one we want to talk about? Bill Maher. Yeah, Bill Maher went off. And this is off topic, but Bill Maher went off, and I thought it was beautiful. I love to see Bill Maher actually have some common sense. And he whooped this woman like she was getting in trouble at school back in the 90s. Nowadays, you get in trouble at school, they want to be mad at the teacher and talk about soft parenting. Can I say this real quick? I want to deviate for like 2 seconds. Can y'all stop with this soft parenting stuff? Please stop it. All right, roll the clip, Nick.
But who's going to be the one? Gavin Newsom we have here in this state. He's already called the legislature to. Trump hasn't done anything yet, but I understand the.
This was the problem. There was a 2014 study that showed that Fortune 500 companies were more likely to pick a female CEO if the company was struggling, basically setting women up for the big job, but to also fail. If they did well, fine. But if they failed, look, we have a female CEO.
Let her go.
While failing. And that's what I feel like they did to Kamala Harris. When Biden refused to step aside and not run again, he was supposed to be that bridge. He backed off on that promise due to arrogance. And then he drops out after a catastrophic debate performance. And they set Kamala Harris up to fail. That was a 3-month campaign, and she was supposed to introduce herself to the American people. No wonder people were Googling, did Joe Biden drop out? And so...
No. No. You're saying 3 months wasn't long enough?
It was too long. It was long enough.
It was long enough.
If they had a primary...
It's not that they didn't have time to introduce. They met someone and didn't like them.
If they had had a primary, they wouldn't have picked her. And if they had, she would have been able to rough out those edges that then she basically has to start from scratch with a campaign team she didn't hire that didn't like her, right? It was his team. And so I wonder if that next Democratic person, maybe someone's not even on our radar yet. Because frankly, when you look at the history of who's, there's two types. The one who waited in line, who was next in line, and then there's the one who comes out. That's Obama. That's Clinton. That's Reagan to some extent.
We had a strong bench. There's a very strong bench. There's a number of people that could be possibilities.
You're talking about people like Josh Shapiro, who could have been the vice president.
Senator
and won
from Connecticut.
Pennsylvania.
Senator
Blumenthal?
No.
Oh,
Chris
Murphy.
Chris Murphy.
Yeah, yes. I'm going to side with Sarah about this one thing. If you're the sitting vice president for a president who has, throughout his entire term in office, been sitting at about somewhere between a 35 and 40% approval rating, people view the Biden administration as a failure. We can have a long discussion about whether they are right about that, about the economy, but the perceptions of the economy were that people thought inflation was too high, people thought we were on the wrong track, 75% wrong track numbers, and this huge inflation overhang. You're the sitting vice president, and you get put on elevated to the top of the ticket 107 days ahead of the election. I think that is a very high degree of difficulty to put on anybody, and I do not think she is the perfect.
Hold on. They act like they put a gun to her head and made her do it. She could have said, "No, I'm not doing it. This is not enough time. I think the campaign is failing. We need to have a vote." Instead, she got out there and said the dude was totally fine. He's okay. Y'all tripping. It's a conspiracy theory. They act like there wasn't enough time. No, she sucked. She had plenty of interviews. They spent millions and millions, and we'll talk about that in a minute. They spent millions and millions and millions of dollars getting celebrity endorsements. They did all of that. She was the vice president with him. She ran with him and they won. So how is she introduced to America? Yeah, these people are silly. And they say this thing just like that woman over there. This is why you can't trust weak men and liberal women. These are the two people you can't trust. Because only an ignorant woman would say, when companies are failing, it most likely they go to a woman CEO to set her up for failure. Nobody is failing in a company and saying, you know what? I think a woman would look good ruining my company and all of our shareholders. That would make me feel better if a woman went down with the company. And then she go, if the company's recovered, then oh well. No. The woman gets accolades and endeared because she recovered a failing company. And I think a lot of times what happens is these failing companies have failed leadership and they believe in DEI and affirmative action and they want to get grants and benefits for hiring a woman. That's what they really want to do. There's no way in the world somebody thinking like, oh, I'm going to get a woman. My company's failing. Let me get a woman so she can fail. And then we can point the finger at her. No, the company goes down. Nobody really knows who the CEO of some of these companies are. You can't name right now who's the CEO of Apple. Who's the CEO of Netflix? I don't know who these people are. Do you? Who's the CEO of NetSuite? Which I got a lot to say about NetSuite, boy. I'm going to say that for a whole nother video. Who's the CEO? You don't know? So quit pushing that rubbish. And she's a terrible candidate, and they tried to cheat us. This is what really happened. See, I said this to somebody earlier. God is in control no matter who's at the presidency or who's in the presidency. God is still in control. God knew that he was going to allow Trump to win. He had Biden win, and he knew this was going to happen in Trump's second term. But he let them fall in their own devices. They should have never played in 2020, and Donald Trump would have only had 2 terms and would not have had control of the Senate and House. But they played games thinking that they were winning. But God was letting them fall in the trap that they set before Trump and vindicated Trump. And now Trump's the president. Now he has the House and the Senate. In a time where people are overwhelmingly supportive of a Trump administration, he only can run once. People like to have 2 terms. So more than likely they're going to have Trump and then his running mate or whoever, J.D. Vance, somebody, going to have a second term. And that person is eligible for 2 terms. They're going to mess around and have 3 terms as a Republican. And they done screwed themselves. Playing games with y'all. The first black woman, they should have picked the best person. Thank God they didn't. Y'all played the DEI hire. Y'all played the race card and sex card, and it backfired. That's what really happened. Roll the clip.
Candidate, I tend to agree with Sarah that probably in a fully litigated primary, she probably would not have been the Democratic nominee, but we'll never know that. But I will tell you that, there's never been anybody who's had the difficulty of that situation, elevated that late in the campaign. Why?
A Democrat would have needed to run away from
Bill, I don't know
the
if you know this, but the Vice President of the United States is basically shoved in a broom closet for 3.5 years.
I know.
You couldn't.
She was more popular in there.
Yes, well.
I mean, this idea that in a mass media age, that 107 days is not long enough to know somebody.
You are way overestimating the American people in terms of what their ability.
No.
You have someone like Donald Trump has become a universally known, understood, loved by some, hated by others over the course of being omnipresent for 8 years.
Okay.
Barack Obama becomes president of the United States after running for 2 years as president, runs a 50-state primary, is on television, does dozens of Democratic debates. And by the time at the end of that, most people knew who he was. Most people.
Yeah.
You drop somebody into the middle of the top of the ticket, 3 days out, 3 months out. You are going to have to spend a lot of time trying to introduce yourself to the country while also being in a steel cage death match with Donald Trump.
Okay, but I don't know if you ever watched this show, but I had Michael Douglas on this week.
Yeah.
At the top, we were talking about this, and he made a very good point that every other country in the world can do it in months, sometimes weeks. Why can every other country do it in that short a period of time? Are they all that so much brighter than America? I don't think so.
Exactly. They're not brighter than America. The thing is that they had a candidate that sucked, and she lost, and now they want to make every excuse in the book. I told y'all, in KTAR, local radio station here in Phoenix, they had me on, and their Democrats tried to beat me up over this, and I said, Donald Trump is going to win big, and they laughed at me. Yeah, right. I said, he's going to win big, bro. Kamala Harris haven't answered a single question in her campaign. And I'm being fair. I don't have nothing to gain by lying to people and lying to myself. And then I'm be mad on election day because I lied to myself. I said, nah, just watching the way it's going, Kamala Harris, she suck. She's terrible. They're using a race card. Black people don't consider her being black. Obama at least had a black wife and some black kids. Kamala ain't got nothing black in her life except Willie Brown. But that's another story. So when you look at it for what it is, she was a terrible candidate. They should have all known that. I don't know who missed that boat. Y'all hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button if you haven't liked it already. But let's go to the next one. Let's go to Oprah and all these other politicians. So Oprah allegedly, and I saw this on Megyn Kelly's show, that Oprah didn't get paid $1 million, but her company got paid $1 million from Kamala's administration or Kamala's campaign. Now, the richest woman in the world, or she's the richest woman in America, maybe. Every other woman inherited all their wealth. This woman made her wealth. She's the richest woman in the world. I don't count the women who take their husband's money after a divorce. They don't count. They talk about the richest woman in the world is Jeff Bezos' wife. Jeff Bezos' wife, what? She rich because she divorced that dude. Man, they can say she helped him build a business, but I don't know. She got all that money because she divorced a billionaire. That's not an accomplishment, to be honest. You know. Anyway, let's see Oprah Winfrey walk up the street. She kind of look goofy, but she is old though, so I can't joke about her what she look, because she is old. She looked better than probably 900% of old women because she's taking Ozempic or whatever that is. I caught her. They caught her. I can't believe Oprah did that. She was pushing this product of like weight loss program or whatever, and then behind the scenes she taking Ozempic. Allegedly. Roll the clip.
How do you think the election went?
Not talking about the election. Thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
What do you think about all the celebrities with their mass exodus?
I'm not talking about
Do you think Prince Harry's going to lose his visa now that Trump's president? Thank you, Oprah.
Of course you don't want to talk about it. Oprah Winfrey was paid over $1 million. Her company was paid over $1 million to go out and do that fake town hall. Well, I like the town hall because it made Kamala look like a dummy. So they did that town hall. I got to give a shout out on the super chat. James, thanks so much for the super chat. I'll get to you right in a second. Paid $1 million to go out to that town hall. But Oprah ain't the only one. They paid Beyonce $6 million? $10 million? They paid Beyonce $10 million to give a 3-minute speech she read. $10 million? $10 million? Now, there ain't nothing to Beyonce. But to the 10 million, they gave what's his name? Eminem like $1 million, 1.5. Megan Thee Stallion 1.6. I think they gave who else they give money to? Was it Cardi B or one of them other bull daggers? Let me see. Go to this clip here. This is it on the news. Go roll it.
Guys. Listen to this.
I can't get over these numbers. $10 million for Beyonce.
What?
To step up and back Kamala Harris publicly. $5 million for Megan Thee Stallion. $3 million for Lizzo. $1.8 million for Eminem. I mean, is that normally how it goes? You spend 20.
Hold on a second. So, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. How much do you think Donald Trump paid him? Do you think Donald Trump can afford Elon Musk? I don't think so. So you're telling me these fake relationships is what you guys wanted in the government? People paying people to act like they like each other. Y'all playing too much.
100%. That's how I knew they were going to lose, because if you don't have genuine enthusiasm for your campaign, because they were paying people to show up at the rallies, they were paying these people to endorse, they were lying and saying they have celebrity concerts and doing all this other stuff, and they were just making it up out the side of their rear end. And therefore, when people go to the polls, they don't really see the genuine nature. Donald Trump had grassroots stuff. He didn't pay Elon Musk nothing. Now, I know Elon Musk would have, it'd be a good move for Elon Musk to be in cahoots with the president of the United States, right? I mean, that's a win. But he didn't pay Elon Musk. Maybe they paid some other people. I don't know about it. But maybe they paid other people. I've never been paid. I'd take the money if they paid me. If Donald Trump said, I'll pay you $6 million to give me an endorsement. Oh, that's easy, bro. I've been endorsing you since 2016. You've been paying me $6 million. What you want me to do? Want me to do some push-ups on stage? Take my shirt off? What do you want me to do, Trump? I'll do anything except risk my salvation. But anything else, I'll do it. I will do it. If the Lord says yes, then I'll do it for $6 million to get on stage to hype people up. I've been hyping people up for like 5 years now. They ain't paid me nothing. This ain't been free. Obviously, I make money on YouTube and stuff, but they ain't paid me nothing. But if they did, I ain't gonna be shy to tell you they paid me, and I took it and put it in the bank. All right. What was the? Yeah, that was the last one. All right, good. Just for the people that are on here right now, I should have did this at the beginning of the show. Y'all remember the young man? I don't know if we could pull a clip up or something. Y'all remember the young man that was in the classroom? And then I'm going to get to the super chat, so y'all just hold on. Y'all remember the young man that was in the classroom? His name is Myron. I don't know his last name, and I'm not going to disclose his last name. He's a minor. But Myron went viral on social media because he had to literally combat his teachers and the students because they were nuts, just completely unhinged. And the young man stood his ground. The young man was very confident. And I liked what I saw. And I said, I'm going to bless the young man, right? And I sent you the link, right, Nick, to the donation link. It's pinned in the chat. So I said, I'm gonna raise some money for the kid. I'm gonna give him. I was gonna give him a few thousand and give him a check. But if you want to support the kid, I think it's important to support young people who are standing up and being bold and courageous. We need to support our own. That kid is in the belly of the beast. I don't know if y'all remember him. He was in the belly of the beast. Literally, these leftist lunatics were coming after him and trying to shame him. Even the girl in front of him tried to shame him. And let's not play the clip because I don't want them coming back and be like, I was in a video. Tried to shame him and saying black people don't like him and he'll trade it to his own race. And he was giving all these points and the girl couldn't say why she didn't like Trump and why he going to take rights away from women. Even his teacher was saying silly stuff that he had to fight against. Now, just imagine this kid having to go to school and deal with this every single day. Now, I'm not making it obligation for any of y'all to do anything. I'm going to bless him. I messaged him. I found him. I followed his mom on social media. She followed me back. I sent her a message. She saw the message. Now, she may take some time to respond to me because she probably want to figure out, she probably don't want to respond to me to a certain degree, right? 'Cause I said, anything y'all need, if I can help with rent, if I can help with getting him I don't know if he's driving, if he get a car or something, I want to do something to bless this kid because I feel like he's an inspiration and an impact. And I said tuition to school, even private school. I don't know how much private school costs, but maybe I'll sponsor it. I don't know. But I just, something in my heart want to bless this young boy. So I got a donation link. It's pinned in the description section, in the comment section. We'll put it in the description section. If you want to give something to help this young man or to bless this young man, it's a blessing, right? It's a sowing a seed. If you want to sow a seed of a blessing in his life, then click on the link and give something. You know, it's a lot of people on here. If you gave $1, you gave something, because I know money is funny and change is a little strange for people. You want to give $10, you get $100, you give $1,000. I don't know, whatever you want to give to bless this young man. Understand that you're not just blessing him, you're sowing a seed of a blessing in his life. And I think God honors people who bless other people, and you'll get a blessing back, some form of fashion, whatever that is. Maybe it's money, maybe not. You know, I believe if you bless people with money, God will bless you with money back. And if you're doing it for the right reasons, not because you're looking at God being like, I want money. Here, let me give it to him just because I want money back. No, you just have to have a heart of generosity where you say, I want to bless others all the time. I give tips. I've never done DoorDash without giving a tip. And I'm like, you know, the tip is crazy on there. I probably spent, God knows how much money giving tips. But I believe it's doing the right thing for people and supporting them. People need a job, they need opportunities. So I'm going to do that for them. Every time I go to a restaurant, I pay 20% or more. And when I travel to speak, obviously people pay me to speak, I give crazy tips. Last tip I gave a girl was $500. And she was at the bar. I was at the bar eating a steak dinner at this restaurant in, where was I at, Nick? God dog it. Where was I at? It was good too. That was one of the best restaurants. And I met the owner while I was there. But anyway, I gave her a $500 tip. And my meal wasn't even $500, obviously. It was just me. So I believe in being generous. I believe in blessing people every chance I get, whether it's helping people financially or helping people physically, whatever I can do to be a blessing to other people, I do that. So I put a link in here. If you want to be a blessing, send the boy $1, $2, $10, $100, whatever you want to do. I'm going to collect all the money we raise, and I'm going to write him a check, or depending on what his mama need. She may say, you know, I'm struggling right now. If she admit that to me, I don't know. She may be rich. I don't know. I'll talk to her. I'm looking at the school and looking at these teachers, and normally schools that are not as prominent, teachers are silly like this. Some of these really nice schools, they hire better teachers and they don't do stuff like this. But he might be at a great school. I don't know. But I asked his mama, I say, you want to put him in a private school? You know, I want to see how much that costs. Of course, if it's $100,000 to put him in private school, that's I don't know. Y'all raise the money, we can do it. But I want to do something for him, man. I want to do something for his family and him. Maybe get some school clothes or something. I don't know. But I want to do something. So if you want to be a part of it, go to the link. That's the way I can do it and manage it, right? Because if you do super chats, YouTube take like 40% of the super chat before they give it to me. So if you gave money on here, 40% of that going to YouTube. So all your money ain't going to him. But if you go through the link that I got, the money will come straight through, and then we'll put the money in. I'll let you know, guys know how much we raised. I'll give a receipt so you guys don't think that, you know, whatever. I got to show you proof of how much we raised. And then I'm gonna get the money to him, and I'm gonna report on it when I get it to him, whether I give it to him in a check, whether I give it to him, you know, in a form of helping them to get the private school or something of that nature. Whatever way it is, I'm gonna bless him. All right. So if you want to be a blessing, bless him with something. And I'm gonna make a video on my Instagram too, encouraging you guys to do that. Let me get to the super chats, and then we're gonna get up out of here because I haven't eaten all day and it's 4 o'clock. Let's see. Let me go with the top super chats first. A shout out to my boy, Anton. He said, I appreciate you. Obviously, I gave Anton 1,000 shout outs between then and now because I appreciate $500 super chat is crazy. He must be balling out of control. I don't have much. Here's a few pennies for the donate. Thank you so much to Nene. James, thanks so much for the super chat. Then we go to James Robbins. I'm a disabled vet. These heifers on The View said the military should have diversity. No, this is what the gentleman's saying. No, this is the weakness in that field. It takes a certain mindset to fight. It's not about a period. It's about the ability to do what's necessary. 1,000%. That just is what it is. People may not like it. So what? It's a job that needs to get done. JDA says Riley Gaines or Megyn Kelly for press secretary. I think Megyn Kelly will be a rock star. I was a chaplain assistant in the military. We became the CH bodyguards in combat. I don't know what CH is. This is a position better held by a male counterpart for obvious reasons. Maybe the head chaplain? I don't know. Maybe I'm confused. But I can understand. Like some things are held for males. Mama, thank you so much. Mark Robertson for former NC governor in his cabinet. I love that. Let's see. Our country and VA can do way more for our vets. Love Tulsi Gabbard. She's a breath of fresh air. So happy Trump is back. Trump cabinet is younger. I love it. Let's see. Keen and Michelle. Tatum for press secretary. You should rock that position. I'll tell you right now, if Trump said, Brandon Tatum, I want you to be press secretary, I'm gonna be in DC. Nick, you still will have a job because you will cut all the press secretary and make them viral. But if Donald Trump said, Brandon, I want you to be press secretary, which he's not, Caroline Levitt will probably be the press secretary. But if somehow Trump asks me, I'd say yes. Any position in the White House that Trump asked me to do, more than likely I will say yes. I can't imagine one at all. Oh, he put me, make me the head of something that got to do with the, make me the head of the FBI. I set it on fire. No, I'm playing. I wouldn't want to do that. If he told me to do it, he called me, I want you to be the head, I'll do it. But like, I ain't never, that's a lot of work there, boy. But I tell you what, I do better than these other lunatics that have been a part of the FBI. Let's see. Dr. Amy said, I served and have to pay for VA healthcare, or pay for VA healthcare. My family is not covered. I have an IT doctorate. I'm a professor, delivery driver. My husband makes more than me. This is how upside down the country is. That's crazy. Military, you cover your whole family. I don't know. Well, we got money to give to Ukraine. That's the thing that ticked me off. We didn't gave like hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. We can't get that to our veterans. They just wasted it on killing people in armor and stuff. All right. A fellow public safety officer that served in Afghanistan, a dear friend of mine was refused at the VA for heart ablation. Oh, okay. I know what that is. For heart ablation. He passed away 2 months later. That's crazy. And that surgery is not, I don't know how much it is, but that surgery is not uncommon. Why wouldn't they give him the ablation surgery? It's crazy. Let's see. Great channel from across the pond. Shout out to my UK buddy. I think that's a British flag. Hope Elon Musk and Vivek get a hold of the VA and reform 100%. The VA is a scam for politicians to steal money. All of my veteran friends hate these veteran organizations and the VA. The VA are communist. I can't find somebody that loves the VA. The VA is a joke, Dustin said. And Dustin is my friend in the military. Let's see. Hegseth is a beast, smart, educated, and in foreign policy more than most. Also a young, handsome, young dude, no homo. Great pick and pumped to see the play. I love it. Let's see. Dog Mama for life. Cross the line. Tulsi is a great soldier who been in combat zones, and no soldier should be thinking about their genitalia while in combat. 1,000%. And if you're thinking about your genitalia in combat, you need to not be in combat. I think that's everybody. Joe Biden went to U of A. Yeah, right. Joe Biden went to ASU, to be honest. He looked like an ASU guy. I'm Mexican voting for Trump. All my brothers-in-law don't have papers and also wanted Trump to win. They care about the money and food price expensive. I love that. Appreciate it. If Vance ran for president in 2028, he should make Trump VP. Who's with me? Still waiting on my shirt. All right. What shirt you order? Let us know if you have a problem with your shirt. Go to the customer service. We'll take care of you. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Go and support in ways that you can. Be a blessing to somebody today. I see y'all in the next one. I'm out of here.